a quiet tournament for so long, so definitely needs to step up here.
It's time to get this party on the road. SK Gaming, Optic Gaming, head-to-head in our first semi. It's time to go over across to Henry G and Sadegist.
Time indeed. Thank you very much, Mitch. We are underway. Semi-final number 1, and it's SK on the CT side. Henry, this is going to be pretty epic, I have a feeling.
I've got a feeling too. Yes, let's make some noise for the first semi-final. SK Gaming versus Optic. Terrorist side for the American side here. We've got one smoke, and we can see them actually making their way towards the inside area. It's going to be Rush. Face off first against Fur. And he'll be actually waiting for the challenge here. Fall into strike first, though. And the battle begins on the inside bomb side.
Taco well back. Has to sit to watch them come through, but Mixwell stops to oblige, and that's going to cost him because Fur follows up to get Tarek. And it's SK that lead the way. No bomb plant out of this either, despite going hard in toward B. So not only do they get shut down, they don't get any extra income. They'll have to wait potentially for the full 3 rounds unless something changes in this.
Nice work by Fur. Going into that upper platform position enables him to get a lot of vision in that area. They were planning on not necessarily rushing inside, but tentatively making their way in there, smoking down the lower ramp and trying to get that bomb plant down. Usually that works out. You get a trade and at least get a plant, but they got completely shut down their Optic. Not a great start, and they're going to be not necessarily force buying the second one. They got upgraded pistols here. So that's actually been a trend for Optic recently. They haven't been force buying as much as they used to. So Desert Eagles, Mixwell takes a nade to the face to kick things off. Not a great start. He's looking at the SK buy as well. 4 UMPs. They usually get 5, but Fallen, he's picked up the M4A4 here as we get into round number 2. Not really. Oh, stop.
Stop with 1:30. No. Oh, there is damage though on Mixwell. That's going to be.
It's not a big deal, I guess.
Yeah, they called not live. They agreed to it, so all right, shouldn't be a big deal. You're right. It was over a minute still in the round, but damage was dealt onto Mixwell. He was down to 21. We've got a game crash, apparently.
Well, it gives us time to discuss our thoughts. We were thrown in the deep end there a little bit. So, Matt, SK Gaming versus Optic, on paper, doesn't look that balanced. SK obviously in a resurgence right now, looking great, just winning the Summit event as well. Optic here playing with the coach, for anyone who's not familiar, that's Hayes. And he's normally the he was a former member of CLG, replacing Jason after this event for reasons unknown, and he's actually been pretty decent, to be fair to him.
Absolutely, I think that's completely true. I mean, let's not forget that Optic, within the last, I guess it's a little more than 6 months ago now, but E-League champions had a final as well at the ECS event
it's crazy
in Anaheim. Well, exactly, but then it's kind of gone all downhill since then. They lose Stanislaw. Jason Art can't be here. As you said, they have Hayes, this coach, who's now jumping in as a player. It's not what we would have expected that team to sort of take that direction, and also not to be in the playoffs in this event. Obviously, North having a catastrophic event overall has allowed this to happen, but I mean, you still have to look at some of the individual skill on this team and give it respect. Tarek, we know, is an extremely good player, and I think it's Hayes that has the issue just by judging at the body language right now, but Tarek, we know, is extremely good. Mixwell has been excellent, and Naf has been the player of the tournament.
I wanted to discuss Mixwell's form with you, actually. I haven't been overly impressed.
Player of the tournament for them. Let me just specify that.
Mixwell's form, he's obviously the Spanish sensation, I believe you coined him. And he hasn't really turned up to this event whatsoever for me. He's had his up and down moments, but overall been pretty flat. He was brought in to be the main AWPer for the team, and he is a very talented player. But this event just hasn't really worked out for him.
No, unfortunately not. But at the same time, I think there's some positives to build on, if you will, for the sake of Optic on this side as well for SK. Finally getting a win back under their belt at Summit.
Yeah, it's been a while, right?
It has been a while, and it was a dominant 2016. OJ said it as well in the intro in the lead up to the game. It was dominant, but then it's kind of all gone wrong since the removal, if you will, of FNX and bringing in Phelps. And I know, speaking to this man that's on screen, Cold Zero, about it a little bit, one of the issues that they were kind of having was balancing Phelps with Fur. As they're both very aggressive, it made it hard for the others to fit into their own play style.
Well, we're back into it. Round number 2 begins. Like we said, Desert Eagles, no armor, and able to have a bit more utility. Obviously, the armor as well, going forward into that first gun round. So we'll see the approach coming in. No nade for Optic Gaming this time. It will be Naf, though, still going down to a similar amount of HP. 26 to be exact. And they're kind of flirting with the idea of taking the bomb towards inside by the looks of things. Phelps opens things up, taking down Tarek. And at this point, no real reason to commit here from Fur, but he's looking for a bit more, wanting to farm some money with these SMGs. Unarmored players in front of him. He's going to have quite an easy time finding a couple of kills here. And there it is. Finally takes down Hayes as well, 4-on-2.
Taco pushing as well into the brown halls is going to limit any chance for Rush to try and take the bomb back over to B and get an earlier plant. He's flirting with the idea as he gets toward the stairwell, but Cold's already got Naf, and this will be round done. Again, no bomb plant, so the fact that Rush has a UMP, if he could build up at least a little bit of kill money, that would be reasonable.
Yeah, that would help. He's got 2 kills so far, the only player on Optic to actually post a frag as of yet. Towards that inner area, he'll be met by Taco at the front. He's not really going to have much chance to do here, as he's got no armor. He has got a deagle and incendiary, but At this point, best case scenario, get 1 kill, and he's the decoy to maybe turn around a little player there at the bottom. I think at this point is limited.
He's with the Eagle to try and get the headshot through the door instead of sticking on the UMP, but either way, SK will take this round rather easily. Again, no plants in the first 2. They're getting close to money, but not enough. It would be pretty desperate. No one really ever forces in this, so we'll get a 3-0 potential scoreline for SK. Question is for them as well, because they've got so many UMPs. Are they going to hold those over when the guns do come up?
One thing we've come to know about SK Gaming on SCT side, on Train especially as well, it's the fact they have this relentless aggression. They love pushing towards Ivy, the inner ramp as well, especially against an opposition like Optic, a wounded animal at stage. The fact they have the coach playing, I think that's certainly going to be coming in at one point. Fallen just in the PT50, obviously the main orb for the team. He throws his M4 over towards Phelps, and he'll be buying that orb into the next round. So, as you pointed out, it's going to be a full EK for Optic at this stage. PT50's a couple of flashbangs towards inner once again. Taco spots him, buys himself some time with the incendiary towards inner. And we have got one Optic player towards T-spawn, that's Hayes. Only got the Glock in hand, so he's not going to be doing too much on that side of the map, but they're just waiting to see if any mistakes are made by the CTs at this point.
To speak about the read into the next round where I asked the question, are they going to run the SMGs, the UMPs? I would say, based on the fact that Fallen is saved and lived up himself with just the pistol to bring up an early AWP, that would justify keeping SMGs.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's a future tactic to look into. Phelps, good lineup with the M4 long range. He's able to hold him off. His Taco tries to swing. No, Mixwell does get a kill. And this time, finally, a bomb plant will come in. Perfectly timed before the first gun round, which will give them a very strengthened utility by Burst Glock. Mixwell gets the headshot. Finally, Cold will find him. But he makes it a little bit uncomfortable for them. They grabbed at least the M4 to carry it over.
That's not too bad at all for Optic there. The fact that they have P250s, a couple of flashbangs, and 2 Glocks as well, I believe. They get the bomb down and 2 kills. So they still will be bringing 2 UMPs into this round. This is where things get interesting. SK Gaming up against in terms of that sort of buy. They might go for that aggressive player as I described before, pushing that in an area. They'd like to send 3 players in that area. Fallen likes to be aggressive on this one as well. Double orb setup coming in. It's interesting to note as well, if anyone has not been following this tournament, it doesn't seem to be Cold Zero as a secondary AWP anymore. Taco's been picking up that responsibility. At one point, Cold Zero and Fallen, one of the most deadly double orb duos in the entire game, and they're trying to adjust their CT sides, and this is what they've come up with. Cold Zero going to be boosting up on the server area as well, looking for that first pick. You can see the CTs actually actively hunting for frags here. It's going to be Mixwell with the AWP to challenge them first, and he's very tentative about it indeed.
Cold will re-smoke as well at server and leaves himself in the same position. That one a little bit further forward than the previous, which means he's even more concealed by the fact that the smoke's there. Even spots a flash coming in. Good timing. Mixwell. Heard the pin actually on that one. I didn't catch if that one actually went through that time, but Cold's going to get away just before they get the op from Mixwell in place.
Yeah, they seem to be aware that server boost could have been a possibility. Pre-firing it, and Cold Zera takes that opportunity to flash and fall back. 1 minute remaining now. We still have plenty of utility available for the terrorist side. No real damage inflicted on either side as of yet. Fallen, like we said, hunting for frags towards main entrance, and he won't be challenged just yet. Still a default hold from Optic Gaming. 5 smokes to be exact, so a full execution certainly possible. Phelps holding actually in the pop dog itself, and for now, Optic just setting themselves up and time ticking away. They'll be committing in the next 10 seconds or so.
Now, on the ladder, there's a flash directly thrown down. It's actually quite a creative way of doing so, but it's spotted. Phelps able to dodge it, turn back, take him down on the op from fall, and gets a second in Mixwell as they try and walk in from A main. It's going to be Rush. At least Hayes getting a shot that's waiting in the smoke, and it's done. Bombs down. It's SK to pick up the 4th round in a convincing style, again without a bomb plant from Optic.
Yeah, people have been criticizing Fallen's form as of late, but that's a stellar round from him to kick off the first gun. He's actually getting 3 kills of the AWP, up close and personal in main entrance and towards Pop Dog as well. You're actually right there. Phelps in that Pop Dog area did very well to even turn away from that flashbang and find the first frag, and Optic falling a little bit flat into that round. They have enough to have a partial buy into this one, and when I say partial buy, it means upgraded pistols, some body armor, and a little bit of utility. One player's made it out towards main entrance. That's to be Hayes. Can't find the shot with the Deagle, and he'll be taken down to make it a 5-on-4 nice and early into the round.
Ooh, flag Taco onto Tarek. Fur gets the warning that they're close up. Gets in a position to defend the AWP of his teammate and allow him to rotate back deeper inside of the site. He'll watch upper. Fur goes to Spools when they walk in at lower. The rest are over toward A in a passive position. No one toward E-box and no one in at Sandwich. A little bit more time as well. Minute 17.
Yeah. The objective purely to get the bomb down at this point. You've lost that first frag. Tarek taking down to 17 HP as well. No real positional control coming in. And Fur, he's got inner lockdown. You can see on the minimap right now, 4 SK players towards outside. This is an impossible situation for Optic now. They go inner. Oh, this is getting so good for Fur. You can see how much intel he's getting. Optic have to go to outside at this point, and he's not even going to be stopping. He's going to be hunting for frags here. It could work out. Going to have two in front of him. Easy does it, and it's going to be a clean round for SK Gaming. Didn't really give much away at all. Still got that double orb set up. 5-0 coming in, and the next gun round for Optic as we enter number 6 here.
It's Mixwell back onto the AWP immediately.
Of course, they need him to step up here. Like we said, he's been almost absent in this tournament. We spoke to him actually yesterday. We went skydiving with him, and he's had a rough time at this tournament so far, and he's hoping to prove himself in the semi-finals. AWP out up against Fallen and Taco, who's proven himself to be formidable with the AWP. He's actually been very good indeed. Naf towards in up, trying to get that inside control before the CD's can lock him down, but he's got some opposition. Taco, as we mentioned, AWP, first frag comes in. 5-on-4 once again. This is a nightmare for Optic.
Rush going to try and slow this down. Double bounce on that smoke may indicate it was thrown in close to the wall, which means he can anticipate the fact that Cold is close, and they are trying to spray into that corner. Cold, is he going to push that? It looked like, okay, I saw on the mini-map that he was getting a bit aggressive. I thought maybe he was going to push directly through, but he backs off and gets support from the AWP. Meanwhile, this push, 4 catches Derek, not even looking. They're not even ready for the flanks. He's already cleared out Brown Halls and locked off Pop Dog. Does mean he's rotated off of the B side. If they took bomb back around from T-spawn, they could still bypass him above, but they've got full fortification on the outer bomb site. Fallen trying to fire into Rush as they get in toward A main as well. First getting closer and closer to that position.
Yeah, what can Optic do from this position? Smoked out, 5-on-3. That has to be a kill from Mixwell. He finds the tag, but it's not going to be enough. Gives away his position almost now, and he's going to be taken down. Cold Zera finds another. Fallen to chime in as well. Poor old Hayes now, the coach, stepping in, trying to do what he can. Finds 2 frags, but it's not enough. SK Gaming running over Optic here on train. They seem quite flat, and this is a good time to take a tactical pause. It's looking pretty uninspired so far for the North American side.
Like we said, it was not anticipated or expected, perhaps, that they would make it through to the playoffs. I think if you looked at the other 4 teams that are here, Chiefs, Renegades, Vici, excluding North, obviously, from the 4 that aren't here, expecting them to be one of the favorites to go to the playoffs. Optic was the one that had the best outside chance, but it's certainly looking like it's going flat. Now, Hayes, again, trying to get very vocal. It's kind of interesting, perhaps, you know, that he is the coach. Typically, these timeouts would be his time to talk. Now he's using it to talk, but also can do it during the game.
That's a very good point, actually. So here we go. The buy comes in, and Optic Gaming, obviously a maximum loss bonus at this stage. Here's the replay from Taco. This is such an advantageous position as an AWPer to get in at the start. It's brave of him to actually sit in that Molotov for an extended period of time, but it works out. Takes down a key player. Nafly has been amazing for them. Let's touch on Taco again. He's going close range. Not with the ult this time, towards the lower ramp, looking for the inside rush. And I think at this stage for Optic, maybe it's a chance to bring out the set pieces. Let's actually get the wall of smokes out. The default aren't working for us. It's a 5-on-4 every single round. Here's some set smokes now, and maybe they can try and get a plant down and allow their key players to actually step up here.
Phelps. Double smoke down in front of Pop Dog is waiting as well with a Molotov. If they push through that, he can just lob it in behind the E-box, and then they won't have any cover. No one's directly going into that position just yet, and he's actually looking to try and put that deeper in by the ladder. Smoke down sandwich. Fur's in good position to see above it, but he's flashed off. Lets 2 go by. Third flash catches him in full duration. That leaves him a sitting duck. And yes, finally we get some execution on entry. They still have to solve the fact that Phelps is inside of the site. 5 players up this time for Optic, and it's just Taco remaining against them. They've got money built, so Taco can afford to try and do economic damage. He's only got 2450 himself, but they've got 14-9 for Fur, who sits at 6-2. So every kill that Taco gets right now is extremely costly for Optic, who's about to be reset.
Yeah, I think this is the best point of approach from Optic Gaming. Default at the start, don't commit, don't try and find those first picks. Let's just get the full execution coming in. Allow yourself to have some map control at that point. Get out there with the flashbangs. You could see Fur taken out of the round at that stage. He wasn't expecting those flashbangs to be coming over the top. Actually, I think finding some opportunities to get some frags there. Taco, obviously impossible for him to win that round, but he's trying to do economic damage. They've got tons in the bag. SK Gaming, of course, 12k per player to be exact. I'm sure the double AWP setup comes out once again. We'll see if that rings true in a second. It actually does not, and you can see, look how flashed he was on the top of that green tray. Couldn't do much about it. The Galil wasn't the prettiest of sprays, but gets the job done, and Optic finally posting their first round. Keeping 4 players alive as well, obviously very beneficial, and interesting enough, on the T side, they're bringing in the double AWP setup. A lot of teams do run this, Virtus Pro mainly. We'll see whether it works out for them. It's going to be Tarek on the secondary AWP role.
You have to say credit to Hayes as well, calls that timeout, makes the adjustments.
Perfect. Then you can tell his players aren't fragging right now, maybe a bit nervous getting on the stage for the first time here at this event. and just slow it down. Let's get something out of the scrapbook and get that bomb down, actually finding some frags as well. That's going to build their confidence going forward.
It was wishful thinking for sure from Fur to sit on top of that train.
Yeah,
fully
right.
blinded. Normally you drop off that. He's going, nah, I think I can get away with this. Not quite. Phelps has pushed a little bit more aggressively at the outer bomb site this time. He'll cover off Pop Dog from below, which means Fur doesn't have to go aggressive to try and push in through brown holes to get information. Can afford to sit back in a more standard default. They've even, for the sake of note, have Cold sitting well back toward Old Bomb to watch Ivy so that he's not caught off in all the flashes and smokes that they threw toward A if they were to elect to run the same play this time. But this is cheeky as Fallen tries to slide up on the AWP.
Absolutely, looking for that first pick actively this time. A bit more aggression from Fallen. He's going to have Mix by the main entrance. Oh my God, how fast was that from Fallen? Finds the 5-on-4, and he's back, hitting absolutely every shot it seems.
He does spot one on the lateral drop off. Flashes are ready, and Fallen looks again down the lane, but he's gone from right at A main over toward the ladder. They realize it late. That's Rush's cue to enter. Good response from Phelps. That could have been worse, especially where he's got company in front. He's limited himself, though, and Tarek, he's able to take him down. Look at this from Hayes. Oh, what?
I told you.
Fallen, insane. Hayes had him dead to rights, and he snaps it around, but it's Nath. Let's pull it back to a 1 versus 1. 2 kills already. He's got to go back to get the bomb, and Taco catches him. Doing so, 7-1, and a reset that absolutely hits hard. They saved, they can't quite force. They've got 2 that could.
Well, with the full reset bonus and having a look at it, it looks like they will force Matthew. They can get 3 AKs out, so Tech-9's coming in, but that shot towards main entrance, that's some vintage Fallen right there. The flick shots at close range. That's when we first came to know him really, Cologne 2015. That's when we first started to see that sort of style, and it's coming back slowly but surely. As we get into round number 9 here, it was a bit of a harsh reset for Optic, but they still have enough for a buy. We're going to have Taco back on the rifle responsibility, and it's looking like an inside play here from Optic. As you said, the set pieces seem to be working for them. Let's try towards inside. Smoke towards connector, Molotov the side, flashbangs go in, but Taco, he's ready to get intel, spots one, drops the incendiary, designed to buy him some time, cool for the teammates to come over, and I'm sure an AWP will be with him momentarily, but they're looking to focus maybe towards the upper ramp here. Hasn't pulled over an AWP just yet. Like we said, towards the lower ramp, maybe some smokes coming in. He's doing damage, but it takes a lot himself.
Tucker 118, Fur's going to have to trade out with him. Let him play the back line, get the long shots. And Fur, more blood in his veins, will have to try and get closer. Play the ladder, wait for the flashes to come through. They will get an entry and the bomb plant. And that second smoke makes a problematic situation. Fur actually could slip in. They backed off, he's perfect. If he goes, it's a sitting duck and he's going to line them up. Oh, he's blind though. He's got to line this up. He's got to get it perfect. One goes down. Sprays for the second. Spotted the third as well. He's got it. Well done, Fur. Gifted the entry from a smoke that was to conceal the escape of the player going high. And it's Mixwell that was the one who's actually vanished inside of that smoke. And he's going to give up the round and concede.
Fur making Optic Gaming look foolish there. That's brilliant stuff from him. What an amazing play. So patient, so disciplined there. Wanted to make sure he had the perfect opportunity to take 3 down. Nails it as well. It's what we've come to expect from this absolute superstar in CSGO. Of course, there's the replay. You can see they have absolutely no idea. Manages to find all 3 players, shuts down the round single-handedly. 8-1 for SK Gaming. Like he said, Mixwell saves a weapon, but it's all for naught really. They can't really afford to force around this one. The Eagles, PT50s, 1 smoke and a flashbang. Mixwell, you have to deliver here, my friend. And maybe he can find a couple of kills, who knows, as he goes towards Pop Dog. There it is.
Mixwell gets 1 though, but that's all he gets. Phelps just walks through the door and completes it, shuts it down. They still want to commit to it. Pop flash in, and Phelps is just having it all. There's 4. Go ace hunting at this point. Tarek is heading the direction where it could be a possibility. Well done, Phelps. Gets all 5.
Yeah, unfortunately for Optic Gaming now, they're allowing SK Gaming, each and every star player is having a moment of multiple frags. This is the team you do not want to let them get into their zone, and it seems like they're warming up now. Fallen's had some big rounds. Phelps with an ace, Fur with that 3-man. Cold's error, we just need him to arrive in style as well, then you've got the whole lineup. Here we go then, round number 11, another buy for Optic Gaming. 5 AKs, no mix or AWP. We'll have a quick look at the scoreboard as well. Tarek 2 for 9, Hayes 3. No one really fragging so far. Rush makes his way out towards main entrance for Cold's error. Starting to shut them down now. Finds the first kill with Mixwell. He is fighting back.
Well done for Mixwell to find a second as well. That opens up a lot of space for the bomb to be planted. Safe side of the train. Fallen, having pushed out Ivy, is going to try this. I don't think he's going to get far. He's been quick. But this quick, Naf lined up, preset, oh, he's crouched under it!
My
Fallen! Stop this, that's not even fair. He's picking on them at this point. 3 versus 3 on the retake. Fur with the pre-fire drop down will get in position to work with Fallen. gives his position away, but Hayes can't land it, has to back off, and Fur capitalizes. Taco takes down Mixwell, retake successful, all on Fallen, sneaking in under a crosshair.
This is why he is one of the world's best. Great form right now, hitting all the shots, so aware. There's not many players, man, that can find that frag, especially when the terrorist is actually pre-firing the angle as well. He's ready for that flank and still can't find the kill. It's another huge round in the bag of SK Gaming. They're trying to run away with this one on Train. 10-1. Another pause comes in. Obviously, it's going to be Tasker at this point. Money is okay. There are 4 stage loss bonus with the bomb going down as well, so that's an extra $800 coming in. A chance for Hayes to spin some gold out and work out what he can do. So the rounds that have sort of worked for them, sure they only have one, with a set piece towards outside, all the flashbangs coming in, they found their first round. That round was more promising, number 11 there. They went for a faster outside execution, not so much in terms of a set piece. There's a couple of smokes over, fast out of main entrance, and Mixwell gets 2 frags, but unfortunately for Optic, Fallen finds so many kills there as he comes in with the flag. Double AWP set up now for SK Gaming. Having a look at the buy for Optic as well. What have they got? It doesn't look like they're forcing into this, you know. They've got a Tech 9 head armor, so this is another partial buy coming in. Here's the replay of Mixwell finding the first kill, and Phelps spraying a couple down at Pop Dog.
Let's not forget when SK had their best run of form on this map, I think it was 24 straight maps of Train that they were successful in one, and I think during that time, there was 3 straight games where I think the most amount of rounds anyone got against them was 2. So they gave up like 4 rounds in total over 3 games. It was insane, and now they're showing a bit of form right now. That's reminiscent of it. Optic back to a scout, this time with the Tech 9s. The timeout worked last time. It's going to have to be even more impressive this time.
Well, it's not kicked off well. coldzera this time on the AWP. Once again, the upper ramp position. Hayes, he's got to be more careful than that. Obviously, it's a Tech 9 round. Doesn't have the Molotov to use at that upper position, but it shouldn't be this easy. Fallen takes a few bullets there. Goes under 29 HP, but it still has a 5-on-4 once again. It's Mixwell on the scout, trying to make something happen here. He's found a tag, but yet to get any kills, and that's audacious from him. I'm not sure what he's hoping for. That needed to land a perfect headshot. It does not happen. 5-on-3 once more. It's round number 12. And looking very likely to go in favor of SK.
Goes in for minor damage onto Tarek. Fallen just waiting to spot Sliver. Gets it right, but not quite the accuracy. Same to Tarek, but he's giving away the information, and Phelps is the one that's capitalizing. Another great round for him. He's up to 3. Cold will close it. Just to give you an idea of the overall, Phelps actually leads the way on 15 going into round 13, so not too bad. Everyone's actually fragging. Like you say, everyone's had a moment on SK.
Yeah, absolutely, and no one has for Optic. It's Mixwell's had maybe 1 good round so far, a couple of frags in a round they didn't win. For now, the AWP comes out once again. I just want to see these set pieces. Let's get that bomb down. Let's try and get some frags. It seems like Optic have been rattled so far. The star players need to start hitting some shots as well. Nafly, amazing this tournament. He's looked fantastic. 2 for 11. Tarek, he's supposed to be the superstar of his team. Hasn't really posted anything at all. That's the Molotov we've been talking about, the shutdown these AWPers. It's going to be present there once again. Taco towards the lower ramp, and I think it was Fur that was enough, but we'll see whether he can get anything going here.
Phelps waiting directly below, susceptible to a flash from that position. One was bounced. He looked away. Phelps will still sit at bay in that same position as Fur gets ever closer, and I think Tarek has an inkling that he's there. Molotov goes deep though for that position. Actually, Fur's gonna try and strike while it's hot. Thinks about going all the way around, but instead slips back down. He'll do a full rotation rather than backing off and being locked out. He refuses to have any of it. Apex-esque on Cash when he goes out highway and back in through Z-Connector from CT side. Cold has got rushed down toward Ivy, and he's gonna have a second one walking into a similar position. Reverse angle as well, front Train, open to A main, but no one's even threatening from Optic, so he's got all kinds of room to work with.
4-on-2 now. The AWP's really going to down and Fur. That's another simple frag for him. Optic, just look out for their depth right now, Matt. They just don't have anything to bring to the table. One strat so far that's got in there, sort of, I guess it was the flashbangs that were so good to take down Fur initially, and they started getting some AK shots at that point. But for now, trying to flirt the idea of going inside. AWP shutting them down. coldzera and Fallen as well, both chiming in here. They found 1 kill so far, and it's up to Mixwell in a 4 versus 1. 20 seconds remaining. Bomb down inside. Any more variables I can chuck in there would be overdoing it at this point. He cannot win this round is the headline.
Flash through. Mixwell's blinded by Taco. Thinks he's in A main though, so this should at least be 1.
Got to.
Scopes in. I was a little nervous for him for a second, but he timed it, didn't hear it, so therefore got the kill. But the round will expire, and he has to stay alive with the weapon. Hello, Fur.
He's ready for his close-up.
What did you come up with any better names for the kangaroo?
Not yet. I need to get one myself.
I do as well, actually.
Yeah, we'll make sure we go to the zoo and pick one up before we leave. Regardless, 12-1, Matt. It's not been the most exciting game to kick off the semi-final here, and we have 3 sniper rifles for SK Gaming, 2 AWPs, and Taco. He's bringing out that auto sniper. Can get a little exciting in that respect. We'll see if he can step up. It has to be a force buy from Optic at this point. 12-1, 2 rounds remaining. They need something here. 3 AKs, of course. The Mixwell saved AWP as well. And Naf, he's only got that Tech 9. He's got 2 players waiting for him in Pop Dog. If he dares to go down there, he's almost certainly going to be fragged. We'll see what happens as coldzera, he starts to battle towards Ivy.
Bottom of the ladder. I want to get in on some of these jokes, Henry.
Yeah, but you have to be funny to take part in jokes, Matt. And unfortunately for you, that's going to be a problem.
That's a good point. Fur will smoke off toward A main. And Naf wants to go again. They're still trying reluctantly to get down this time. It works, Naf. But he gets blinded up in the process. Can't find the second kill. And Fur's going to take over the position of Phelps this time to find multiple kills on entry.
And bomb down as well, Matt. So this is a massive problem. Mixwell, he's got the AWP, sure, but he's by himself at Ivy. He's got rush with him now as well, but how can they get out? They've got no nades remaining, and they've been legged up as well. coldzera just focused towards main entrance. He knows where everyone is at this point. Just needs to start hitting some shots. And Hayes trying to take him down, but he's being flanked as well. Seems to be aware, though. Fur should be taken down at this point.
Should be. 5 HP actually has looked away at the exact wrong time. coldzera's taking
hate to see it.
Significant amount of damage. Somehow not caught in transition. All this does is buy time. Doesn't even need it now. Fur will strike on the back of Rush. He's very sneaky. I have to say, Fur, it's Snacks-esque. It's not quite as common that we see it, but when he gets into a position where he's confident in the game and knows he's got map control available to him, he's very good at taking it away from the opposition.
They haven't even broken a sweat now, the SK Gaming. They're just taking frags everywhere they can. No one's really having to clutch. First frag comes in almost every single round. It's 13-1. It's difficult to get excited about this first map. And we'll see whether Optic can maybe pick up number 2 and have a fighting chance if they pick up the pistol in the second half. It has to come in fast outside rush. I was saying it, either set pieces or rushes. Let's just try and stick to the basics here. They're going for the rush. They're fallen through the smoke, of course. Makes it another 5-on-4 just like that.
Shot back in from Phelps to get inside of the site. Fallen on entry will take down Tarek as he regains position inside of A main. Don't shoot your teammate. As Naf will get at least one back. It's Phelps that finds Mixwell and Cold to close it out of the double ups. 14-1, SK looking like their old selves, not only in this tournament, but especially on train.
Absolutely. What can he say after that first half? Optic was supposed to be doing well on this map, but they had a chance in this best of 3. Moving on to overpass, they won't have a chance here. It goes without saying, they need this pistol on the second half. Matthew, we'll take a quick break and see whether they can step it up.
regret to inform you that there's not much to report. It's been all SK at 14-1 after the first half of the semifinal on train, and the one round they did get was a decent execution, but other than that, they haven't even been getting any kills.
Yeah, Optic just haven't turned up to this semi-final as of yet. It is a best of 3, but there's left a lot to be desired, I have to say. No one turning up at all. Their tactics have been poor, and they just seem outclassed in almost every facet here on train. We're getting into the second half, though. As I said, they have to win this pistol. I have no chance of winning this one if it goes to 15-1. We'll see what happens, though. Tarek and co going for 5 sets of armor, no nades, no kits. And on the SK side, 2 smoke, 2 flashbang, Molotov as well. The Molotov normally suggests they're going towards inner. That's obviously for the post-plant situation, chuck that on top of the bomb. It's a very common strategy, and we'll see whether they can step up here, as it's Natfly challenging to the upper ramp. Doesn't have the same success that SK did, but at least he spots a couple.
Tarek. Wait with the USB down below. Looks to be a set smoke toward B, but does bomb go that direction or not? Tarek's definitely going to hear a lot of this information as Mixwell waits as well far back. Remember, Optic tried a very similar pistol round and did not get a bomb plant out of it.
It's going to be the inside execution. All 5 players coming in. Smokes towards connector on the back of the side as well. Bomb was guaranteed to go down this point. There are 2 Optic players waiting. Can they find the shots required?
Smoke was decent. Molotov back in. Mixwell's desperate. Ooh,
here we go.
Last bullet to get a shot through. Finds Fur with it. Nap's going to drop down. Good headshot on Taco. Starts to rotate around and catches one in the lane heading outside of the smoke. It was Phelps that they just caught dissolving and made sure that he went down before he reappeared elsewhere as Fallen. He's going to sit to try and babysit the bomb. It did get planted. Good shot from Hazed. And it's all onto Cold Zera. Last year, highest rated player over 2060, and he started it off. He's got to get the headshot on the second because they're already on the defuse.
No.
Oh my goodness, all 3, and it goes 15-1, sick play.
You hate to see that. Why is he going for the full defuse? That's the panic play right there. He thinks it's done for, he won't be detected, he's got no kit. Time is kind of running out at that point, but back your teammate up, at least be ready for the refrag to come in. Tarek, there's so much pressure on his shoulder to find that kill. Natfly just begging and hoping that he can get the defuse in, and Cold Zera makes them look foolish once again. 15-1. The pistol that Optic so desperately needed their Matt does not come in. They're going to have to force by here, and it's not looking great. Deagles and UMPs as we enter round number 17. Inside rush from SK, why not? You've got a lot to play with here, and it's a full outside stack. It's over. They can't win this round. Optic Gaming, they're done for here. Bomb's going down inside.
16-1.
Yep.
The potential score of an opening map in a semi-final IEM. It's done already. Bomb planted, close it out. Phelps wants to do so. Naf will at least get one for a souvenir before he heads into the next map, but that's all he's going to get. Incredible performance from SK, and lackluster from Optic, it has to be said. They've got to reset. Naf at least getting more kills. They had the knives out. They were going to try